Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum. This is Introduction to Psychology Part 2 by Dearknowledge. Okay, we have completed the lesson 3, which was about the physiological motive. If you haven't watched that video, I've given a link in the description section. Go ahead, click on that link and watch that video. I've also given the links of the previous lectures in case if you have missed any of the previous lectures, you can watch that video, that lecture from the links that are provided in the description section. So from this video, we will be starting the lesson 4, which is about the psychological motives. So let's start with the psychological motives. Now, psychological motives are so called because they're basically caused due to some psychological needs and are not based on physical needs. They are not caused by tissue needs, though they might be associated with biochemical releases in the body, and they are usually caused because of stimulus in the environment, but gives the psychological reaction. So we will be discussing all those psychological motives one by one. The first one is urge to escape. Then we'll be discussing the humor, and then need to fulfill one's interest, need to have purpose, force of habit, need to maintain self-esteem, curiosity and exploration, and effectance motivation. So let's start with the urge to escape. In short, we can say the emergency motives. Now, if we talk about the urge to escape, now whenever there's a possibility of danger, there's an urge to run for safety and shelter and to escape from any threatening situation. Now, the natural reaction to danger is the preparation for protection against it, and they are also termed as emergency motives by the Wordsworth. Now, danger is a typical emergency, and at the primitive level, danger is the threat of immediate bodily injury. And if injury is not merely threatened but actually taking place, then a reflex withdrawal movement is the organism's response. For example, the withdrawing reflex of hand when it is burned, pricked, or pinched. Now, I have included some of the emergency motive in this table form. We will be discussing this one by one. So the first one is danger. Now, whenever there is a situation of a danger, which is also a form of emergency situation, now the goal will be to get yourself safe. We can say the goal will be the safety. Now, the motive or direction would be to escape. Now, the emergency motive in the situation of a danger would be to escape from that threatening situation. And at that time, the emotional state would be the fear. Same is the case with the next situation, which is restraint. Now, whenever there is a situation of restraint, our goal would be the freedom, to get free from that thing. Now, the motive at that time, or the direction of that, the direction of organism at that time would be the combat, and the emotional state would be the anger. The next situation is the obstacle. Now, the goal or furnish would be the mastery, and the motive or direction would be effort, and the emotional state at that time would be the determination. And the next one is the prey. Now, the goal or furnish would be the capture, the motive or direction would be pursuit, and the emotional state would be the eagerness. The next psychological motive is humor. We can say there is a need to laugh. Now, there is a psychological need to laugh so as to deal with the life's tension. Now, tendency to laugh is universal, and this in itself is very relieving, and it makes us feel light and relaxed. So this need helps us to look at life in its utmost positive and optimism way, and it also helps us to get on with life by fighting with laughter. So the next psychological motive would be need to fulfill one's interest and potentials. In short, we can say achieving up to one's potentiality. Now, Abraham Maslow have described that one of the highest needs of an individual is self-determination or self-actualization, which he interprets as achieving up to one's potentialities. So we perceive our goals and needs according to our interests and potentialities to acquire it. So man is motivated to get those things in which they are interested. For example, if a person have a life goal to achieve in which one is interested to achieve, so he will be motivated towards that thing. Then the next psychological motive is need to have purpose. In short, we can say action directed towards a goal. Now, the word purpose is used broadly to cover any action directed towards a goal, and this psychological need is basic to all individuals because no man lives a purposeless life. And everybody has a goal, a wish, a purpose in life to achieve and succeed. And it may be to become a ruler or a doctor or even as small as earning 2 meals a day. Now, a purpose can be most definitive motive and the most powerful. Now, the more definite the goal, the more determined you are to overcome the obstacles and put in necessary effort. So, the next psychological motive is force of habit. In short, we can say persistence. Now, it is a persistence of a particular way of satisfying a given motive. For example, eating food prepared in a particular way. And there is also a psychological need for cleanliness. Now, some people cannot live at places where things are not kept at their respective places, and they're forced by habit to clean the place before going on further with their work. Now, the next psychological need is need to maintain self-esteem. In short, we can say to develop a sense of worth. Now, in Maslow's thinking, esteem relates to the need to develop a sense of worth by knowing that others are aware of one's competencies and values. And the need for self-esteem is a very powerful need governing both achievement and intrinsic motivation. And latest research in this area suggests that most people will go to the great lengths to maintain a favorable view of themselves. The next psychological motive is curiosity and exploration. In short, we can say to learn by investigation and manipulation. Now, curiosity drive is both exploratory and manipulative behavior, and exploration means need to learn about the environment by investigation and manipulation. Now, human beings seek stimulation, and some people, sensation seeker as they're called, are prone to search for especially exciting stimuli and situations. And if we are not sensation seekers, most of us seem to have a need to seek new or novel stimuli. And according to influential theory, stimuli from the environment arouse all of us, and each of us has an optimal level of arousal which we seek to reach our optimal level. And to reach our optimal level of arousal, we tend to seek out and prefer stimuli that are both novel, which means one that is somewhat different from what we expect, and complex, which we can say one which contains a relatively great amount of information for us to process. So sensation seekers have very high optimal levels. So this is about the curiosity exploration. So the next psychological motive is the effectance motivation. In short, we can say to act competently and effectively. Now, a general motive to act competently and effectively when interacting with the environment, effective motivation plays an important role in humans' behavior, and goals are reached but effectance motivation is not satisfied. It remains to urge to behave towards new competencies and masteries, even when the child is trying to crawl, stand, or walk. In which he finally succeeds is an example of the body trying to master the environment and to become effective in it. And effectiveness motivation at work in later life too, but here it is sometimes different to tell whether behavior is motivated by effectiveness motivation or by achievement motivation. So this was all about today's video. If you like the video, if your concept is clear, you can like the video. If your concept is not clear, if there is any point which created a bit confusion for you or you didn't get it, you can ask me in the comment section and I will be happy to help you out. Plus, if you're new to this channel, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Dearknowledge, click on the bell icon so you will never ever miss any notification. You can share the link of this video, share the link of our channel with your family members and friends because sharing is caring. Until then, Allah Hafiz.